Leila, what do you think about the new moon and the year of the rooster? Don't like roosters. Okay. She doesn't like roosters. She would rather it was the year of the tiger.
Just makes sense. Yeah. So Dean, what can you tell us about the new moon?
Well,
Coming up.
Yeah, this is a really interesting configuration. The new moon this month is going to be on January 27th at 4:08 p.m. in LA. And the first full day of the moon cycle is January 28th. So that will be the beginning of the year of the rooster. So this chart not only is like a blueprint for the coming month, but it's also a blueprint for the coming year, because that's the beginning of the Chinese calendar, which is a more natural calendar. It always starts on a new moon, follows natural cycles. So first thing I notice about this chart is that vertical line in the center. There's a planet at the top in Aries, that's called Uranus, and the planet at the bottom in Libra is Jupiter. They've been opposite each other for several months and will continue to be for several months. They're slow-moving planets. So this is a long-term aspect that kind of informs the whole period of time we're going through with the election and the inauguration that's happening on January 20th, and then the shift to this kind of whole new world that we're going into. And people will also notice a lot of shift going on in their personal lives. So
wait a second. What's the shift into the whole new world?
Yeah.
Well, politically, the world of the Trump administration, which is going to be very different from the previous ones. And this opposition kind of gives you a sense of the conflict that is happening throughout this process. And so I'm going to go into what are these two planets mean? What is the conflict between? So Jupiter, it means wisdom or truth or hope or faith or goodness. In India, Jupiter is called Guru, so it means like wise one. It's the biggest of the planets, and it represents whatever you believe in, whether it's a true belief or a false belief. It's your beliefs. And Uranus, which was discovered at the time of the American Revolution, the French Revolution, around the time Ben Franklin was playing with his kite and harnessing electricity. It's symbolized by electricity or a lightning bolt, and it represents liberation or freedom or independence. It's also like a lightning bolt. It's illuminating or inspiring. So what the opposition is, or the conflict is, between beliefs and freedom or liberation or inspiration. So
that's a really good thing.
It could be a good thing. On a deep level, it means it's time to free ourselves from limiting beliefs. But you see it played out because everybody's got different beliefs. So some people, for example, when Jupiter is opposite something, they will project this idea of goodness or badness because it's the whole range of beliefs. This is good, this is bad. So they will project onto somebody, this person is bad. There's a lot of, like in politics right now, there's a lot of vilification going on. You know, you'll hear vilification of all sides of the equation. Putin is being vilified as like a Hitler who has taken over our democracy, according to some people. Or Trump is a bad guy and there's many attempts being made to prevent his inauguration. Some people are calling it an attempted coup that's going on between the CIA and the incoming Trump administration. There's a big battle already going on. And then other people would vilify Hillary Clinton as someone who, in the emails that were released, it showed that the Democratic National Committee was manipulating the election to get her in there instead of Bernie Sanders, etc. So everybody's being vilified depending on what side you're on. This Jupiter opposite Uranus is like, we have to free ourselves from this bad person. And then you'll see it in your personal life, maybe at work or in your family or something like that. You feel like we need to be free of something that's not right, some unethical thing or some bad thing. So do you guys notice anything like that going on in the world or around you?
I can see that a lot of people are feeling that way. I'm fortunately not feeling that way myself, because I think, but I guess in a way that is going on with us, just in a different way, because we're sort of really empowering ourselves, and
We're kind of clearing out what our bad habits are and what we can do to change them and make them into good habits, and really targeting that, and also being a little bit more mindful of what we put into our brains. Of trying to focus on better things.
Like we don't watch the news anymore, for example.
Yeah. So this is like the Jupiter side of the equation. Is what you're really looking at is your beliefs, and so watching the news is going to change your beliefs, or that's what it's designed to do. It's telling you who the good guys and the bad guys are in the world, and what you ought to be doing about it. So, so you might be noticing in your own personal life is you're examining what beliefs you might need to be free of, because that's really what this time is all about. So,
so what's going on? So you're having a New Earth Expo in Hollywood, or North Hollywood, right? On the day of the new moon, January 28th, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really a good time to celebrate the beginning of the new cycle, and we're going to be there with some really good speakers and exhibitors in the healing arts and the metaphysical arts, and so this is a perfect time to begin to explore what kind of a new world we would like to create. There are some aspects in this astrology chart that are really good. For example, that triangle you see on the right side in Sagittarius going to a planet, that's Saturn. And Saturn means a structure or an order. It can represent a house or a building or a government or a set of laws or rules. But Saturn is like a container, like it has the rings around it. It gives boundaries to things. When it's forming that green and blue line, mean it's Saturn's sextile to Jupiter and trine Uranus, which actually creates a solution. It's some kind of, and what they're, if you look again at the government or the world politics, it's like creating a new government, a new set of rules. They're trying to change Obamacare to something else. So it's like, it's a restructuring of everything. And so there's actually, right now is a good time to find solutions to this inner conflict. And then you see 4 planets in the upper right with lines going to them. And that's a square from Saturn to Neptune, Chiron, Venus, and Mars. And a square, being based on the number 4, 4 points creates a solid. It means it's time to manifest something out of all of this energy. And what do those planets mean? Well, Chiron has been conjuncting Neptune for a few years now, and Neptune is the subconscious, Chiron is healing. So this is like healing our subconscious patterns. Venus is the heart, and it means relationships or love. So it means subconscious relationship patterns that need to be healed in order for us to move on into a better relationship with each other and better relationship with the things, how we transact with each other, things like money, for example, in business, and just the way we handle our emotions with each other. Mars can be very angry, or it can just mean desire or sex or touch or things like that. The fact that Mars is conjunct Chiron is really a good time for touch healing. For example, even now, we haven't gotten to the new moon yet, but Mars just conjuncted Chiron a couple of days ago. This is a great time for massage or healing through touch. So anyway, with this Venus-Chiron conjunction, this has to do with healing of the heart. So if you're going through a lot of relationship issues, this is a good time to overcome whatever your traumas are or what's going on in your relationships. There may be a lot of, because Venus is coming to the end of its cycle with Mars, when you put those together, it's the heart chakra and the pelvic chakra that are ending their cycle together. And that combination is like passionate relationships or romantic relationships. But because it's at the end of the cycle, we may be feeling like it's time to move on from some of those relationships or change or heal some of the subconscious patterns that are affecting them as this cycle comes to an end over the next few weeks or so. And then we begin a new cycle shortly into this new moon.
Okay, so people can get a free pass at newearthevents.com or on the page, probably where this video is, probably right next to the video or above it. There should be a button and a link on the navigation bar at the top. And also, there's going to be a raffle at the show. There will be prizes from a bunch of the vendors. And the raffle tickets are normally $1, but if you go around the exhibit hall and you see a sign on one of the vendors' table that says raffle participant, then you just go up and talk to them. They'll give you a free raffle ticket, and you should be able to get up to 10 or 20 free raffle tickets that way. And you just bring them up to the front and put them in the raffle bowl, and give us your cell phone number, and we'll text you. We'll draw a winner every hour, and we'll text you if you win a prize. So anything else that you want to tell people about the event or the new moon before we wrap this up?
Well, there's just one other aspect I want to mention in there. On the right side of the chart, you'll see that planet Mercury is lining up with Pluto. It's right below the symbols of the sun and the moon, which are together because it's the new moon. And that's, Mercury is communication, and Pluto is it's known to mean something like death, transformation, and rebirth. What it refers to is the spiritual part of ourselves. That we come from spirit and we go back to spirit when we die. And so Mercury means communicating with spirit. So this is a great time during this moon cycle for things like people who communicate with the other side, or channelers, or communicating with angels and things like that. And there will be a lot of people that do that sort of thing at the show on the 28th.
And where is that show? It's at the Beverly Garland in North Hollywood.
Yeah,
right?
actually, they changed the name recently. They dropped Beverly. It's just the Garland, but it's the hotel that used to be owned by Beverly Garland and her family.
Ah,
And they call it the Garland Hotel in North Hollywood. If you scroll down, if you're on the page, you can see the address on Vineland. It's right by the freeway, the 101.
okay, well, great. So yeah, don't forget to show up early. You'll have you'll get your raffle tickets in the bowl sooner if you get there earlier, and there'll be less raffle tickets in the bowl, so it'll make it even more likely that you'll win. And be sure to get your free pass if you're not already on the list. And we'll see you in Hollywood. Thanks, Dean, for the astrological forecast.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Bye.